Hi everyone, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be kind of a chill video where I'm just gonna talk a little bit. So firstly, I would just like to mention that I think this clip is really funny where I couldn't open my kneaded eraser. And then when I finally opened it, it looked really weird. So another thing I would just like to say is that this drawing I feel like I said that weird. This drawing is of Ariel. I hope that's clear. Maybe you can tell by the thumbnail, the title. I don't know because I haven't done the thumbnail or title yet, so I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna stop rambling now. This is going to be a part of my Disney princess sticker collection. So I'm kind of like drawing all the princesses in my own style. So, and then I'm going to make stickers out of them and prints, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. This video is also a very low edit video. I basically just sped everything up and put everything together. And now I'm doing the voiceover because I don't really feel like editing today. Today I am off of school because it is Veterans Day. So I just feel like doing kind of like a low-key video, and now I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about some useful tips for artists. So I kind of mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but you know what? I don't like that video because first of all, I sound really awkward. Second of all, some of them were not that great, so I'm going to actually tell some tips that personally I have used and personally have helped me grow. And one last thing that I'm going to mention before I start. When I was doing the liner, I was watching an Among Us video, so like I was very distracted, and then like I was talking to myself, which you can't hear, but it was like when I was like putting everything together, I'm like, why am I talking to myself? But yeah, I was doing I was doing the liner on my lunch break, and then I had to join class in the middle of the line art, but I was like, I'm gonna finish the line art, so I was just doing the line art in the middle of class, which, I mean, like, we weren't really doing anything in that class, and we were just put into breakout rooms, and then the people in my breakout room started playing Among Us, so like I was just like, I'll just keep doing this, I guess, and yeah, and then like I did the coloring later on in the day. I think it was about 4 or 5 when I did the coloring, so that's why there's a lighting change, a visual change. Like I was sitting downstairs when I was doing the line art, and then I went upstairs because that's where all my markers are. So yeah, that's not very useful information. Okay, so now we're actually going to get into the tips. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them. I only have 5 right now, but we're going to hope. We're just going to talk. So my number 1 tip would be doing studies. So this is a very open-ended one, and it's, well, all of them are pretty open-ended, but this one really helped me because I was like stuck in this funk and I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't know like basic shapes of things. So when you're doing art and stuff, you need to, like, it's better to have a basic grasp of shapes rather than like, I don't know like how to explain it, but like, so when you're doing a body, the body is made up of so many different shapes, and it's better to know like what those shapes look like, so then it's like you can just put the shapes together. Because like when you use like graphs, I don't know, when you use like graphs to draw, when you put I can't remember like the word, but it's like you have like the graph over the picture, so it's kind of like segmented into different parts, and then you're just drawing what you see based on the graph. It's kind of like you are just drawing what you see, but I think it's more useful to actually know the shapes of everything. I don't know if that even made sense, but so when I do studies, I usually look up references using references is huge. So like I do a lot of different studies, and so for example, right now I'm doing different studies on different parts of the body. So I'm like just doing hand studies. So you just move your hand in different ways, and then you just look at the basic shapes. Or if you want to do body studies, you can go on like lineofaction.com and you can see different ones and stuff like that, which I think doing that helps a lot. I don't know if that even really made sense, but the basic thing is just doing studies. So a lot of people say like, oh, just practice, and then people are like, but what do I practice? Just practice everything, basically. Just take something, so like draw something, and then look at it and see what you don't like about it, which I mean is very easy for some people because they don't like the art, which like, I mean, yes, I've been through that a lot. But just look at one thing and be like, well, I want to change this and I want to get better at it, and then get better at it. I really sucked at drawing feet, which I wouldn't even draw feet and like or anything. I just would leave them there or cut them off at the ankles. And then one day I was like, you know what, I need to learn how to draw feet because I want to draw shoes and give my character shoes. So I sat down and took the time to learn the shapes of the feet and learn how to place the feet and learn how to draw shoes. So you can do this with literally anything. You can do it with hair. I've done it with hair. You can do it with eyes, with mouths. Just look at references. Like, you are your best reference. Like, look in a mirror or take pictures of yourself and then use them, or go on Pinterest, go anywhere and just do it. That's the best thing I can say. And the next tip is to experiment. So one of the biggest things for me was I was stuck in the rut of doing the same thing over and over again. So I would literally only draw girls. Just only. Where I was scared of pushing myself, which you shouldn't be scared of pushing yourself because it's art. Why are you scared, Megan? So I would only draw my characters, basically. And if you saw in my last sketchbook tour, if you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. I only drew girls. But now I'm like, I need to not do that. So now I'm actually drawing things other than that. Like, I'm drawing guys. Like, what? I'm drawing guys. I've just been drawing a lot of stuff that is way out of my comfort zone, which shouldn't be out of my comfort zone because it's like plants, and I'm drawing cats, and I'm drawing different types of animals and stuff. So I would definitely recommend pushing yourself. So if you don't like something, if you don't like to draw something, like for example, for me it was guys, push yourself and experiment with drawing guys, because I actually kind of like it now, and I'm trying to develop male characters, which, So number 3 is don't be afraid of messing up and realizing that you are going to make mistakes. You are not going to like everything you draw, which for me, it was a really hard pill to swallow, because I was like, well, if I want to be good, everything I draw has to be good. But you have to realize that no, not everything you draw is going to be good. You're not going to like everything. It's just a part of life. So just don't give up, basically. Because I've seen a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people online say like, oh, I used to draw and then I didn't like what I was drawing, so I gave up. Please don't give up. If you don't like what you're drawing, draw something else. I know that's easier said than done, trust me. But if you don't like what you're drawing, take a break and come back. I hate seeing when people just give up art, because it just hurts me. So just, if you're not liking what you're doing, change it, which again can be easier said than done. But trust me, I took a break and I came back, and I'm doing better than ever. So another one is like kind of like what I mentioned with the first one, but it's doing life studies. So this one is kind of hard right now because life studies, I like doing life studies when you like go out and sit outside and then you just draw whatever is in front of you, which I was applying about almost a year ago. It's been a year. Jeez. I was applying to a summer art program, which was CISA, which is a California Summer School of the Arts, and they had an animation department, so I applied. And one of the requirements for the application was doing life studies. I think you had to do 5 this year. So I went out and I went to like Starbucks, and this was before like COVID and everything. So like I went out to Starbucks and I would just draw the people there. And I remember I loved it because it was like, it pushed me out of my comfort zone to do something I was not comfortable with, because I hate drawing in public because I always feel like someone's looking over my shoulder and like just like saying how bad I am or whatever, which I don't think people would actually do that. Well, maybe some people, but I really liked doing life studies because first of all, it got me out of the house and I was still doing what I wanted to do, but I was outside. And I remember I have this one drawing in one of my sketchbooks of I was at Pete's Coffee because me and my mom were over in the area and we just sat there for like an hour, and I drew all of like the counters and like the bookshelves they had in there, and then I went home and I watercolored them, which I thought was really cool. Which I really liked doing, and it pushed me because I did not draw that kind of stuff. And then of course, like, I haven't drawn any of like that kind of stuff since, but you know what, this is not that counts. But I think you can really learn a lot if you go out and like draw like people actually in like real life. I used to like, I would just draw like whoever I saw basically, and it was really useful because people like sit in weird positions, or people are very expressive when they talk, and I think it's good to actually get knowledge of like what people look like when they're doing stuff, especially if you want to be like an animator or something. It's really good to know like what people look like. And of course it's really hard to do that now because of COVID, but I think just like even like just sitting outside, like sitting in the window of your house or something and like drawing like the trees in your backyard, or drawing a car that's sitting in your driveway or whatever, I think that can still be really beneficial because it's different when you're seeing it with your own eyes than when you're looking at it through a picture, which I'm probably a huge hypocrite for this, but because I use Pinterest and references for everything basically, but I still think it's like, say or do it as I say, not what as I do, whatever that saying is. I think I definitely, when this whole thing is over, I want to do more life studies. I don't really know if any of that made sense. Like, I was kind of just talking and like, I don't know. But the last one, which is probably going to take a long time to talk about, is taking from other people styles. So I found that when I'm in an art funk, what really helps me is going on like an artist's Instagram or wherever you want to go, and just scrolling to the bottom and just make your way up to the top. I find that it gives me a lot of hope, basically, in that it's like, oh, people have bad days. Oh, I'm not a terrible artist, I made bad art. Or I'm not a terrible artist because I made bad art. And yeah, I think this could be really beneficial when you're feeling down about yourself, because I also like to read the captions, and sometimes they're like, oh, I hate what I'm making right now, and it's like, oh, same, and stuff like that. I also think it's really beneficial to look back at your old art and everything, because then you can be like, hey, look at that, I've improved. Because when you're drawing every day or whatever, it's hard to see improvement until you really look back and be like, oh, wow. Because like when I look back at even the beginning of my current sketchbook, I'm just like, why did I do that? I know so much more now and everything, which I think is kind of cool. But what I actually mean by taking from other people's styles is that if you watch my last sketchbook tour, again, go watch it if you haven't. I went through a really bad art block, which I mean, in reality, it lasted like 3 days, but like, that's a long time for me. When I, like, the peak of it, I just wasn't drawing. But then when I tried to get back into it, or tried to get back into drawing, I looked on Pinterest. I was just like, art styles. That's literally what I typed into Pinterest, and just different art came up, and different, obviously, art styles. And I just picked a few that looked nice to me, and I just drew them. And I tried to draw like them, but also put like my own spin on it. And again, if you do this, I wouldn't recommend posting it, but if you do, give credit, because like taking other people's art is not cool. But I think it really helped me. And then if you really like something that an artist does, just kind of like take it, but don't try to like draw it exactly like them, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really know if that makes sense, but like, if you like the way somebody draws eyes, just kind of like draw them, like just draw them in your own style. Like, that's what I do with a lot of people. Like, I see like I'm really trying to like experiment with hair right now. Like, I don't know how I want to draw hair, so I'm kind of just looking at different art styles and picking ones that I kind of like, and then using that for myself, which I think can also be very beneficial if you just kind of like, you know, just casually take somebody's way of drawing. Like, I mean, I wouldn't recommend drawing exactly like someone all the time, because like, I mean, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of that, I guess. But if you want to like take inspiration from somebody, I take inspiration from a lot of different people. But yeah, if you like, yeah, I'm just looking at my sketchbook right now. First of all, I'm like, what did I do? And that's from like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I definitely like experimenting with like different styles, and I'm still trying to find like my style, I guess you can say, because I don't really have a style. Like, I mean, I kind of just draw, which I mean, I should, but like, yeah. But when I say that, I'm not saying it is cool to go and steal other people's art, or steal, or just draw, like basically just copying everybody. That's not at all what I mean by that. So another thing that you can do that might take a little bit more time, or might not, I don't know, this probably won't work for everybody, but it worked kind of for me, is kind of like taking your style, if you have one, just draw something and then take it and exaggerate in a feature. So for me, I like to just draw something, and then I'd like to take it and exaggerate the eyes, because I just like really big eyes. But if you don't want that, you can like shrink the nose, largen the nose, push the nose further up, just kind of like experiment and find like a way of drawing that you actually like. Because I don't know, I think it's also a fun exercise to do, to see like what you can make with or what you can but what you can do to kind of change it up, but like still kind of have like, I don't know, it's just, I can't find the words for it, but like, I know it's like a fun thing to do. It's also like a fun, like, just kind of exercise to do. It could be like a warm-up or whatever. I also definitely recommend doing warm-ups, and what you can do for warm-ups is doing like studies for warm-ups, because that's a really good way to warm up. Okay, I know for a fact that did not make any sense, but the gist is kind of like mess around, experiment. So just kind of like take one thing and then just make it bigger, make it smaller, just kind of like just test out different things, because you never know. It may be like your favorite, it could be like something you really like, which is like my biggest thing with experimenting. I think you don't know like what you might like if you never do it, you know. That's why you should draw everything. And I think drawing every day can be really helpful for some people. For me, if like I'm kind of being forced to draw every day for like the challenge I'm doing, but like I'm not thinking about it being like forced, you know. So like, but like when I was not doing this challenge, I was trying to force myself to draw every day, and then that kind of just made me even worse. So I wouldn't force yourself to draw every day, but I would recommend like doodling or doing something to exercise those muscles, because when you're drawing, it's all muscle memory and exercising different muscles. So I think it is good to use them every day, but just kind of like doing like warm-ups or something like beneficial for you, I think is a really good way to go. Did any of that make sense? I don't know if any of that made sense, but I'm looking through my sketchbook right now, and first of all, I'm kind of proud of myself because I've drawn things that I've drawn things that I wouldn't think I would draw in the past. So like I'm proud of myself for pushing myself. And I was doing some studies of like background stuff, so like I really want to learn how to draw like flowers and stuff. So I just looked up flowers on Pinterest because it was like 10 o'clock at night. And when I was looking at flowers, I found like hummingbirds, a lot of like hummingbirds. So I started drawing hummingbirds, and I realized they're really fun to draw because they're really weird looking creatures. So again, just like kind of like experiment. I think it's a big one, and like do things out of your comfort zone, because if I had stayed in my comfort zone and not done background studies and stuff, I would never have found my joy in drawing hummingbirds. And I also really like drawing cats, and I'm really trying to stylize cats right now. So yeah, that's really fun. I think we're almost done with the video. I'm not quite sure, and I don't really know what else to talk about for the rest of the video, but I do hope that's helpful. Again, I'm not sure if any of that really even made sense, but you know, I'm just gonna go with it. But yeah, we're reaching the end of the video. I just checked. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a like, comment down below if you want, and definitely be on the lookout for my stickers. I'm in the process of opening it's gonna be a Redbubble shop, so I'm definitely gonna talk about that once it's more in the process of opening. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was useful and not confusing, because I kind of confused myself. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.